What's good, everybody? Your boy, O'Shea Duke Jackson, back at it again with another episode of The Celebrity Jump. Guys, I want to talk about the Hall of Game that we did yesterday. I want to give a shout out to Brother Gabe A. For coming up with the title was How Can Black Men Provide Opportunities to Other Black Men? And Gabe A is very talented. He's a smart man. I believe he's just maybe 30 years old, but he's wise beyond his years. And obviously the usual suspects came on. We had Brother Rance Turner, who made some excellent points. He's a manufacturing supervisor. There was D. Durrell, who came on. We had a lot of the guys that came on, Keep It Techie. But then Dr. Sean Wallace came on. Now, if you're not familiar with him, he operates the Dr. Thunder YouTube channel, which is the same moniker that he uses as a professional musician. And he is the PhD tenured professor at the Great Ohio State University. And he started talking about the two different types of leaders, right? And I never heard this theory. And he said there's two types of theories with leadership. There's a type A and type B. Okay. And the type A leader is the guy that is more paternalistic. Okay. Do this, do that, because I told you I'm here and you're down there. And I'm making a summation of what he's saying. And then there's type B. The guy who is more diplomatic. He tries to understand who his people are, although it takes more time. He's more supportive. He's focusing on the individual. And because he's like that, people are more loyal to him and they stay around more. Okay. Now, why am I talking about this? Because each of you as black men are leaders. Every black man is a leader. Every black man is also a follower at certain points. There are times where I'm definitely following someone else's lead. There's no problem with that. And there are other times where I'm leading people. But within African American male communities, one thing we have to know, what do black men best respond to? And I think that's why a guy like myself, I've been able to establish so many relationships with talented black men. I was just speaking to Brother Zach Mwikwasa, who is now in Tanzania. And me and him had a really good conversation when I was able to meet him in Uganda. And he's a professional fighter. Check him out. And he has a new channel, okay, which we'll post here. But I met him. I met guys like Woody Maya. I met black men all across the world. Africa, African American, Caribbean, British. One thing holds true. Black men are not the kind of men that like to be dictated to. Okay? It's just not our culture. It is more the African culture for that big man effect to be there. But it's for African Americans and in general African men, what I found out, the type B leadership, taking time to understand what's going on, trying to know people's personalities. You see, that's the kind of relationships we have to establish with black men. We have to be more patient with our people. Okay? Even if you're more talented, even if you're more hardworking, see, with our men is you can create enemies by being too hostile. Because our guys are a little bit more sensitive. See, in other cultures, Chinese, Asian, if you will, Polish, European, they're paternalistic guys. So it's in the culture to do what I tell you to do and do this. They respond better to that. African American men, most black men, that's not the case. That's a good way to get yourself killed, beat up, robbed, right? Overthrown, plotted against. We got to understand that our men have to be talked to in a certain way. Our men have to be respected in a certain type of way. and they have to be talked with patience and with love. Now, we have black men who have tried to be a type A leader and they can't hold black men. Look at Dr. Umar Johnson. A lot of black men have fell out with Dr. Umar Johnson because of how he talks to his people. Some women can take that, black men cannot. You see? Black men are, you have to understand that a lot of guys didn't come up with men leading them or men helping them. So you have to have more patience with black men. A lot of times, instead of telling them, do this, do that, our men, and you might think this is funny, but our men have to understand why they're doing this and doing that. Why is it important for me to do this? You have to explain that to our people, because they never had no man really tell them that. A lot of black men don't have the mentorship. We have to be able to listen to our men and try to get them to understand, why were you thinking that when you made the decision? I know that because I use the same leadership style in my Kinganda team. I work with all my editors are men. I use the same style that I work with everybody in the Black Manosphere with. All the big time creators, whether it's Rom, whether it's Alpha Male Strategies. I'll be on his show in 2 weeks. Whether it's everybody, Obsidian, Kevin Samuels. Everybody, I have the same, where I don't talk to them as if I'm down there and there, or I'm up here and they're down there. We have to have a more practical approach. Let me tell you one thing. There are many different types of black personalities. E.D. Cole is a good buddy of mine. I talk to him quite often. E.D. Cole is one of the most showing off, like braggadocious kind of personalities in the world. But he don't bother me. I understand that's just how he is. That's not personal. Okay? It's not personal. A lot of times we take each other as black men too personal, where they're not just realizing that's just how this guy is, and I'm not going to try to change how he is. That's just how he is. Let me deal with him where I can deal with him at. And then we have to also go back and understand that when you're dealing with black men, we have to understand that black men, just like anybody else, want to be respected. Okay? And we're going to miss a big opportunity not to do that by being too rude. But we got to be able to understand that a lot of brothers just don't have certain knowledge. And then once they understand that this is where you're coming from, now we can move forward and have discussions that are meaningful. Now we can move on and build relationships, because I try to understand where the brother is coming from. I'm trying to let him know I'm not a threat to you. I'm not trying to put you down. I'm not up here. Like last night, I sat on the phone till about 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock in the morning, talking to different guys. Guys were shocked. Like, man, I didn't know you was even going to call me. I'm not so big that I can't, if I know you and I know you're trying to do something, I'm not so big that I can't call you. And then if you are a real leader and respect, black men are going to elevate you to that position. You don't have to elevate yourself. If you are really a alpha male, a leader amongst men, black men will elevate you to that. You don't have to elevate yourself to that position. They will. And they're only going to do it based off of your history, your work, your sacrifice to the group. You don't have to do anything. You don't have to tell nobody you the man. You ain't got to tell nobody you this and that. Black men will elevate you based off of your work. You don't have to be trying to put people down and all this. Brothers will elevate you. Now, it's different roasting somebody, obviously, but they will elevate you with that. So we have to be able to deal with black men and deal with them with a passion, or compassion rather. Understanding. When we're working with people, we give criticism. We have to give criticism depending on the personality. Some brothers can take it. You can be a little more harsh. Some brothers cannot. Just because they can't take it, you can't be like, oh man, you a hoe, man. Why you don't understand this? Some guys can't take that. Some guys been talked down to their mother all the time. So you have to understand what they've been through. You have to understand each different person that you're dealing with, personality that's in your life, and you deal with everybody accordingly, and understand that black men are a lot of times fragile. And when you're able to do that, that brother can be respect you and you can win a friend. And once you have black men as friends, real friends, black men really appreciate that. Our men are really appreciative of good brothers who understand how to deal with them. See, you miss out a lot of opportunities because you don't understand See, a lot of times black men talk about women don't understand us, but we don't understand each other's personalities. You can't expect black women to understand you if you don't understand your brother. So how can you build for the community if you don't understand the group of men you're working with? You have to understand the group you're working with like the white man understand you. The white men understand your characteristics and what you want to do, but can you understand your people? Not the negative parts, but can you understand them to a way where you can resolve things? You can conflict resolutions. Okay, now we have to do that. Black men don't like being talked down to usually, even if you're right. They don't like that tough love type of thing, even if you're right. Typically they don't. Here and there it's okay, but moral love what we need. Really, I don't care how big and tall your brothers are, a lot of them got a lot of hurt. So we got to deal with our people accordingly. So guys, what do you think? It's your boy, O'Shea Duke Jackson, back at it again for another episode of The Celebrity Junk. I really appreciate you for all that you do. Subscribe, hit the bell, check out the first comment at the top. And as you know, the buffoonery remains at all-time high. Check out the Patreon. I'm out.